My idea here is to give a brief uh, presentation, giving you the background information, the baseline layer of information that you need to understand and to follow up this discussion. Umas palavras em português muito rápidas para dizer que eu vou falar em inglês. Não é desrespeito nenhum para os portugueses que estão na sala, mas sendo filho de quem sou, eu tenho a certeza que vão entender todos o meu inglês e tenho a certeza que não haverá problemas aí. É uma cortesia para os nossos visitantes e convidados. So, as I was saying, it's really an honor to be here. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, all the guests. Thank you. It's an honor, and I'm happy to be amongst so many distinguished guests and stakeholders, especially to speak about Selvagens. Selvagens means a lot to me. I've been working in Selvagens for the last 30-something years. I've had very interesting days in Selvagens. This is where we're going to have lunch tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better. But I have to be honest and also have great times in Selvagens Pequena many years ago. So, but I'm not here to talk about myself and the good and bad times in Selvagens. I'm here to talk about Selvagens. A very well-known journalist, Paul Rose from BBC, once said, "It all started with a little bird, and it is funny how this story unfolds." Well, this story started 50 years ago, and I have 5 minutes to unfold it. In this room, everybody knows where is Selvagens, I believe, lies between Madeira and Canary Islands. It's composed about three islands, small islands, Selvagem Grande, Selvagem Pequena, and Ilhéu de Fora. This image here already highlights one of the main characteristics of these islands. It's their geomorphology. If you look at, it doesn't work very well, the pointer. Yes. If you look at this topographic map here on the top, and if we make a cut across that topographic map, you have this profile down here. And we can see that Selvagens is a volcanic structure that rises from the bottom of the ocean from 3,000 meters depth to 164 meters high. So Selvagens is just the tiny little part, the visible Selvagens are just the tiny little part of this huge, very important structure. This structure is very important geologically and also ecologically, because in a relatively small area, you have a wide range of habitats that are, most of them, in a very good conservation status. So it has a very high ecological value. But if we talk about ecological value, yes, it all started with a bird, this bird, Corishiwater. Selvagens has the largest colony in the world of this bird. It was hunted for many years, put into these barrels, and brought to Madeira in boats like this. As the boats were like this, the activity was sustainable. But with the advance of technology, and the boats get faster, quicker, more industrialized, the activity was not sustainable anymore. And this is the reason why in 1971 we created the first nature reserve of Portugal, the Reserva Natural das Ilhas Selvagens. On those days, the limits were the 200 meters depth, the bathymetry. But if we talk about the importance of Selvagens, yes, it all started with a bird, but it's much more than a bird. At the terrestrial area, we have endemic plants. Endemic means, for those not familiar with this word, exclusive plants. We have reptiles, and at sea, it was shown, and it was said today here in this room, we have pristine habitats. And it was the existence of these pristine habitats which led us to the next step. We looked for a new challenge, we looked for new opportunities, and we created the largest full protected area of the North Atlantic. The limits nowadays, it's the 12 nautical miles around the islands, which in average goes down to the 3,000 meters complex that I showed you at the beginning of the presentation. So we have a wide range of habitats protected by this new area. Which are our goals? And why we need, and this links goals, financing, things go together, but why we need extra financing. And I had to put extra in this image to highlight that we need extra to do better, because we have, and fortunately, we can't keep doing what we have been doing so far, but we want to move further. We want to do more, and we want to do different things to the world, to the region, and to the world. That is the reason the word extra is there. But anyway, the goals are quite straightforward, but I would like to present you very briefly. Obviously, and this is the core business, I'm not a money man. I think this is my core business, to preserve important, pristine ecosystems. With this, we will improve fishing activities in the surrounding areas. We also want to increase the resilience to climatic changes, to promote sustainable tourism. If we do better, the above ones, we can promote even better the sustainable tourism. This is a bit ambitious, and this is something that we truly believe that we have to do. It's to create a scientific hub down there at Selvagens. The last but not the least, we want to lead by the example. And this is very, very important in a worldwide perspective. So, getting to the end of this brief presentation, I took this from the description of this conference. So this is what we want to talk about in this panel. This milestone poses this huge challenge. We want to finance the necessary resources and infrastructures to do everything that I said we wanted to do, but we will also want to move further. We want to use this as a catalyzer for sustainable blue economy. This is my contribution to the discussion of the panel. Thank you very much for your attention.
Just one question.
I
thought it was very interesting that one of the key areas that you were talking about was this question of improved fisheries around the Selvagen Islands. I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about the discussions that had to go on with the fisheries communities in order to be able to, arrive at an agreement to fully protect the islands.
Well, you know that there is this wrong idea. Wrong wasn't the word I was looking for, but this not correct idea that the protected areas are not good for fisheries. So we know, and science has shown many times in many papers, many scientific papers, many people in places like this showed that the fisheries can really get better. Fish around the protected areas are more abundant, but much more than being more abundant, they have a better fitness, so they are better fish, so better food also to come to our table. The fishermen sometimes have quite have difficulty to understand this, but it was a smooth process. We had our colleagues from the Department of Fisheries articulating that with the fishery department, with the fishermen, the people that use that area to fish. But also have to say that the fleet, the Madeiran fleet that uses, or the Portuguese fleet, including the Açorian fleet that uses that area, it's mainly to tuna fish. That is what is mainly fished there. Is what is quite residual in the total of the annual catches of them.